The bombing of Coventry, a dark chapter in World War II and the resilience of a city. The bombing of Coventry, also known as the Coventry Blitz, is one of the darkest chapters in the history of World War II. On the night of November 14, 1940, the city of Coventry, known for its rich history and industrial might, became a target for Nazi Germany in an attempt to cripple Britain's war effort. This is not just a story of devastation and destruction, but also of resilience, rebuilding, and the profound human spirit in the face of unimaginable loss. A city at war. Coventry, located in the heart of England, was home to a thriving industrial sector that played a vital role in Britain's war production. The city's factories produced aircraft engines, munitions, and a wide array of materials essential for the war effort. As the war raged on, Coventry became a symbol of Britain's industrial power, making it a prime target for the German Luftwaffe, the air force of Nazi Germany. The Germans were keen to disrupt the British production of weapons and supplies to halt the war machine. As the autumn of 1940 wore on, the intensity of the Luftwaffe's bombing raids on Britain escalated. The German leadership, including Adolf Hitler, decided to focus on cities with high industrial value. Coventry, due to its importance as a center of aircraft production, was marked for destruction. But the attack on the night of November 14th was not merely about destroying buildings or factories. It was about breaking the resolve of the British people. It was about instilling fear and terror. Operation Moonlight Sonata. The raid, codenamed Operation Moonlight Sonata, was meticulously planned by the Germans. Over 500 bombers, including Heinkel He-111s, Junkers Ju-88s, and Dornier Du-17s, carried out the bombing raid. They flew across the channel, under the cover of night, aiming to strike Coventry at its heart. As the first waves of bombers approached the city, they began to release high-explosive bombs designed to cause widespread destruction. The explosions rocked the streets and buildings of Coventry, tearing apart houses, factories, and infrastructure. But the true devastation came from the incendiary bombs, which set fire to almost everything they touched. Entire districts of Coventry were engulfed in flames. The fires spread rapidly, and the smoke could be seen for miles around, casting a red glow over the night sky. The attack was unlike anything the city had ever experienced. The combination of intense heat, explosions, and chaos made it almost impossible for people to escape. Sirens wailed, air raid shelters were overcrowded, and the streets were littered with debris. Yet, amidst this madness, countless citizens displayed extraordinary courage, helping their neighbors and rescuing those trapped in the rubble. A city reduced to rubble. The bombing lasted for over 10 hours, with bombers returning multiple times to ensure maximum destruction. By the time the raid was over, much of Coventry was in ruins. More than 500 people were killed, with thousands more injured. The city's industrial infrastructure was heavily damaged, but it was the human cost that would resonate for years to come. Many families lost everything: their homes, their livelihoods, and, in many cases, their loved ones. One of the most heart-wrenching losses was Coventry Cathedral, a magnificent medieval building that had stood for over 600 years. The cathedral, a symbol of the city's faith and resilience, was struck by a bomb, and the resulting fire left it in ruins. The roof caved in, and the spire, which had risen proudly above the city, was reduced to rubble. The cathedral's destruction symbolized the depth of the tragedy that had unfolded in Coventry that night. But even in the face of such destruction, the people of Coventry did not give in to despair. There was a profound spirit of resilience that emerged from the ruins. Despite the loss, the survivors rallied around each other, coming together to help rebuild their community. The response of the British people, not just in Coventry but across the nation, was one of defiance. They were determined not to let the attacks break their spirit. Rebuilding and renewal. In the aftermath of the Coventry Blitz, the city was left to mourn, but it was also left with a resolve to rebuild. The destruction was vast, but the industrial capabilities of Coventry were not completely erased. The city's factories began the arduous task of rebuilding, and within weeks, some production lines were back in operation. The British government, along with local officials, supported the rebuilding effort, and slowly, Coventry began to recover. The ruins of Coventry Cathedral were preserved as a memorial to the horrors of the bombing. The cathedral's symbolic role as a place of worship and peace was never forgotten, and in the 1950s, a new Coventry Cathedral was built next to the old one. The new cathedral, designed by architect Basil Spence, stands as a symbol of hope, reconciliation, and the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. The psychological impact. The Coventry Blitz had a profound psychological impact on both the people of Britain and Nazi Germany. For the British, it became a rallying cry, a symbol of defiance in the face of terror. The phrase "Covent-rated" emerged, used to describe cities that had been thoroughly devastated by bombings, but it was also a symbol of the strength of the British resolve. People from all corners of the nation saw the destruction and knew that, despite the losses, they would not be defeated. For the Germans, the bombing of Coventry did not have the intended effect of breaking the will of the British people. Instead, it had the opposite result. It became clear that the British were capable of resilience and recovery even after such devastation. Coventry, while reduced to rubble, had shown that the German bombs could destroy buildings but could not destroy the spirit of the people. A symbol of peace. In the post-war years, Coventry emerged as a symbol of reconciliation. The destruction of the city, along with the reconstruction efforts, became a poignant reminder of the devastating effects of war. In 1962, the Coventry Cathedral, the new one, was consecrated, and its memorial services for the victims of the bombing continued to bring together people of all faiths and backgrounds. Coventry also became twinned with Dresden, a German city that had suffered similar bombings by the British. This gesture of reconciliation between the two cities, once enemies in the war, is now regarded as a powerful symbol of peace. Personal reflection. For anyone who lives in or has visited Coventry, the story of the Blitz is not just a chapter in history books. It's a part of the city's identity. It's woven into the lives of the people who rebuilt their community from the ashes. The scars of war are still visible in the city's landscape, from the ruins of the old cathedral to the new one, which stands as a reminder of the city's journey from destruction to hope. Today, Coventry stands as a living testament to the power of human resilience. These people have carried the memory of the bombing with them, but they have also carried the spirit of rebuilding and peace. The Coventry Blitz, while one of the darkest moments in British history, also marks a moment of immense courage and the indomitable will to survive. For those who remember and honor the memory of those who lived through it, the bombing of Coventry is a poignant reminder of the price of war, but also a celebration of the enduring strength of the human spirit.